What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cashed Out, and today we're going to be talking about lighting. I'm going to be talking about a 3-piece budget light setup to help you create better lighting for your video. We're going to be talking about how to go from poor lighting to much nicer lighting, kind of like what we have going on right here. So I'm going to be walking you guys through my 3-piece setup, ways that I've set it up, and give you a little bit of a thought process on how to put the lighting together and make the most out of what you've got, especially if you're newer to video and you're still trying to figure out how to get a good look for your video or how to improve the look of your video. This video is going to show you how to do that without breaking the bank. So let's get right into it. So the first piece I'm going to cover is my light stand with the softbox. I use the Mount Dog light stand that I just found on Amazon for right around 44 bucks. And this allows you to be able to create a nice big light source for your video. When you have a big light source that's soft light and not hard light, it makes for a much nicer look to your video. And the example here, as you can see, this is with just some hard direct light coming right into my face. So it doesn't look horrible, it doesn't look too bad, but it can be improved. When you have a nice softbox, it creates for much softer light. It's the same quality of light, it's the same type of light, but it's just a lot softer. So it gives for much more softer shadows, softer edges, and it makes for just a nicer look to your video. Now this kit comes with 2 stands. I typically only use one for my lighting setup, but it's super easy to set up, easy to move around, very portable. I've used it for videos, but if I need to take it out for a shoot or anything else like that, they're pretty easy to pack up and throw in a bag as well. Now the second piece to my lighting setup is this 5500 Kelvin LED bulb. I actually found out about this from DSLR Video Shooter, awesome channel, you should definitely check them out. But this bulb comes in at about 19 bucks and it produces very strong light, but it also produces a very clean light. At 5500 Kelvin, it's more of a neutral light and it doesn't have a lot of other colors attached to it. So in this example here, as you can see, this right here is just a plain white board and I'm shining this 5500 Kelvin LED light bulb on it. And as you can see, it's white, it's pure, you don't see any other tint. But let me show you another bulb, and this is actually the bulb that came with my softbox. And as you can see, this bulb isn't as pure as the LED one. As you can see, this one has kind of a magenta hue to it. If I put them here side by side, you can clearly see the difference. And that's why I like that LED light bulb, because it just creates a much more neutral look, a cleaner look, and I don't have to mess around with removing magenta shade or anything else in post. It just makes my life a lot easier when it comes to editing my videos. Now the third and final piece to my lighting setup is this set of 2 LED dimmable video lights. Now these are awesome. They're listed as 5500 Kelvin as well, but what's cool about them is that you can actually change the color of the light by just sliding a different sheet in front of them. They come with about 6 or 7 different colors and super handy, super useful. And what's nice about them is within the cord, the power cord, there's actually a little remote control that allows you to be able to power them on, power them off, and they're actually dimmable. So you can turn them up brighter or you can turn them down a little bit lower. I personally like to use them within my lighting setup. I like to use them kind of as the background lights. So I'll put them somewhere in my background. For the blue one, I like to put it on my right shoulder over here in the corner. And then for the red one, I like to put it on my opposite shoulder right here on my left side. And these just allow you to be able to create some more dimension to your background. They're not gonna be the star of the show, but they're just a nice complement in your background to be able to create a nice looking feel to your video. These video lights are absolutely awesome and coming in at about 45 bucks for the pair, absolutely good. And what's really cool too, the other thing that I like about these guys is that they have a stand that you can screw these video lights onto and be able to stand up and kind of prop them up a little bit higher. That's actually what I've done with the red light over here off my left shoulder, is I've actually got it on a stand, and that allows it to be able to be lifted a little bit higher to actually show up on the headshot on the talking head video that I do. In a nutshell, just to kind of give you a layout, obviously we've got the softbox with the LED 5500 Kelvin light bulb, and super handy to make the bright light and allow you to be able to get good clean light coming into your video. And then obviously you've got the video lights in the background. Those allow you to be able to give you some more dimension, kind of complement the main light and the main shot that you're taking. So that's it. That's really the 3 main pieces changes to my setup. So nothing too complicated in terms of the setup itself. So now that we've talked about the setup itself, let's talk about a couple different concepts that'll make it a lot more easier and a lot more effective for you to take advantage of this simple setup. And the first concept that we want to hit on is light angles. The angles that you put your lights at can make a huge difference to the look that you get with your video. I personally love putting the light kind of to I guess a 45-degree angle to my face, and I like this angle because it creates a lot of soft shadows on the opposite side of my face. So I don't like having my light full blast in front of me. If that's the look you're going for, that's perfectly fine. That's going to create a totally different look because it's going to essentially eliminate all the shadows when the light is bright and right in front of you. That's why I like putting it at a good angle. That allows me to be able to get most of the light on my right side here, as you can see, and then we got the rest of my left side over here. There's more shadows, and just kind of creates a unique look, just more dimension, and it's not just flat. So that's what I like to do, but you can play around with the angles, move the light around, get the look that you're looking for. Lighting angles there's a lot of levels to them, a lot of layers to them. There's a lot of different feelings that you can convey with your lighting angles. So that's something that if you really want to study, definitely dig into, but that's one key part when it comes to your lighting setup, that you want to make sure you get the right angles to create the look that you want. Now, the other concept that's important when it comes to using this light setup is your camera settings. You just want to make sure that your camera settings are tuned correctly to be able to create the proper look. So going back to some of the basics that we've talked about with lenses, you just want to make sure that you're shooting at the right frame rates and using the right shutter speed. That's probably the first and one of the most important pieces to recording and taking advantage of the lighting that you have. For me personally, like for talking head pieces like this, I love using a 2.8 aperture. That allows me to be able to create some good depth of field between myself and the background. The background isn't crazy entertaining. I'm just, kind of in my office, but we've got a bookshelf and things like that in the background, but having a shallow depth of field allows you to be able to focus on me, and like we talked about earlier, having those complementary lights in the background just make it a little bit more interesting than just a plain wall. Those are just some of the concepts, some of the other pieces when it comes to camera settings. You just want to make sure that those are tuned correctly to make sure that you're presenting the look that you want instead of, having to shift your whole lighting setup completely. So that's it for today, guys. Hope this video helped. Hope that walkthrough helped you guys get a good idea of what you can do in a budget. I think all of this costs about $125 after taxes and shipping, so it's not super expensive to be able to get good lighting for your videos. And like we talked about, using the angles and the camera settings, you can really create different moods and different feels to your shot using just a simple basic lighting setup. So hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and tune in next time right here on Cashed Out. Take it easy, guys.